Hi, YouTube. Today I want to talk about some videos I was watching yesterday, and it had me thinking about my spiritual walk, and you know, basically what I'm left with the experience is don't be impulsive and try to verify things, and you know, sometimes things that we watch on YouTube makes us excited, and we might want to do certain things because of what we see or what we hear. And, even though some things you might enjoy watching, might even agree with, but I just feel that I need to say that we need to try to step back a little bit and really think things through, you know. Um, I was watching the speaker, Louis Farrakhan. He is the current head of the Nation of Islam. Yes, he's very controversial, and but even in his controversy, that you know, we need to really listen to what someone says, whether negative or positive. We have to learn how to um, really listen to what people are saying and what they're not saying and what they really are saying. And it is subjective how we hear with our ears, because we can all listen to something and interpret it in different ways, But you're probably wondering why was I listening to him? Well, part of the reason why I was listening to him is really stems from the shooting of Trayvon Martin. I should say the murder of Trayvon Martin. He was the young man, a 17-year-old in Florida who was shot by a man by the name of George Zimmerman. He was about 27 years old, the killer. And as the young boy was just minding his own business, coming home from the candy, got some candy, and he was visiting relatives. Um, in a, they lived in the family lived in a gated community, I think it was, and he was being, he was stalked by this, George Zimmerman, um, and he didn't know who the boy was, and he just, just thought, oh, there's something suspicious about the boy, and he winds up shooting him dead. And this happened about 2 years ago, maybe now almost 3 years ago, but it really shook me up, and I started, um, I actually started this channel as a result of, oh no, not this channel, but another channel, um, right after the verdict of George Zimmerman when he got off, and so was, starting YouTube was an outlet of expressing myself and my feelings, and I think a lot of positive came out of it. It made me feel better doing the videos. It gave me a platform, and so either way, I started searching the internet for black interests. Black, you know, um, consciousness or whatever. Everybody calls it different names. And so I I found different videos, and I started watching um, Louis Farrakhan. And well, in watching his videos, you know, recently the Nation of Islam has been promoting, more intensely about independence and forming a an independent state. I am actually in favor of that. I'm not in favor, for those, just to make it clear, my agreeing for you know, blacks in the United States to have their own territory or state or country is not about being, um, what do you call it, thinking that we're better than everyone or something like that. No, my interest is, because I'm also researching my family history. And one thing that blacks in the Americas could say is this is not our native land, and we're actually people in exile, and everything we do is being watched by. Sorry, those are my little dogs. Everything we do here in the Americas, we're being watched. Um, we have to ask. Sometimes we have to beg for jobs or things like that. We're at the bottom of the social ladder. And the little dog Lily, she wants to be a part of everything. Come on, sit down. You want to look at yourself? So either way, I I don't I believe in being self-sufficient. I don't want to ask anyone for money or you know oh please help us. No, I believe that we have to every ethnic group, every racial group should be independent, you know, and I believe in self-sufficiency and I believe in community. That is my aspiration, and I would imagine every group wants that. So I've been watching some of his videos, and I know Louis Farrakhan's videos, and I noticed that more and more they're talking about the importance of blacks in America to unify and you know try to initiate this movement. Um, on the surface, I was very excited about this, and I actually was very interested in visiting one of their churches. Well, I forget what you call a church when it's a Muslim church, a mosque, yeah. And I was very interested in visiting, but I'm not a Muslim, and I have um, I have concerns about the organization. Part of my concerns is about certain things that I thought was a little inconsistent, confusing, and such as like you have like the organization is about eradicating white supremacy, the notion that whites are better than blacks and other races, and because of that, to subjugate them and to mistreat them. I'm against that. But some things in the organization reminds me or seems reminiscent of white supremacy. I know that's a big statement, and I want to clarify what I mean. You know, and if anyone who's watching this video who's a member, please feel free to write your to clarify some of the thoughts I may have, why I might think these things, and so if I need to be corrected, then I want to be corrected. But these are some of the feelings that I have. The founder of the Nation of Islam, his name is Wallace Bard Muhammad, something like that. And he, it was a question about, where he's actually from. you know, and I don't understand if the Nation of Islam is about black interests, but this individual looks like a Caucasian, a non black person. He doesn't even look mixed of black or white, whatever, or black or Native American, in my opinion. And so that was a little concerning for me. And, and they call him master. And why call him master? It's so that reminded me of slavery, and it made me uncomfortable. Yes, he is their founder, and maybe out of reverence, they've given that title, but still. And when the organization was getting developed, the person that they recruited was another very light-skinned African American, and, and this is like 80 years ago. And back then, there really wasn't as many mixed race people as there are now. Um, so I'm saying that all things being equal, the chances of getting someone of a darker complexion is more feasible. But so I was wondering, whether it was by design that he didn't want to approach a darker skinned person, or maybe the black people, the darker skinned blacks, were maybe afraid of him. I mean, I don't know. Um, but it was a concern. It you know, it just had me thinking. And then they have Louis Farrakhan, another what we call a light skinned black. And so if if an organization is promoting blackness, you know, socially, yes, they are these men are socially very black or very black conscious. But if I'm going to have a black organization represent me, I want a real black skinned person. So no one, so there's no doubt, there's no white supremacy residue uh, in the making of NOI. So it might seem petty, but these are something questions that I have about it. And the what's his name? Elijah Muhammad was the second person to run the Nation of Islam. And I'm trying to get my thoughts. He he has several children, and I was told that he had different girlfriends along with his wife, and he had children outside of his marriage. That was concerning for me. Again, if I heard incorrectly, then I would like to be corrected. But that was a concern that I have. If a founder or early founder of an organization has that background, that whatever what's in your foundation will set a may set a pattern for the future activities of an organization. Um, a video that I was watching yesterday mentioned about one of his sons. They said his seventh son, and this particular son was given the mantle, after his father's death, Elijah Muhammad's death, um, to run the organization. And so his son started continued, but he followed what we call a fundamentalism Islam, like what they call traditional Islam. But at the same time, you have Louis Farrakhan, who is running the Nation of Islam. And so I was confused. How could you have two people who were given the mantle for running the organization. Also, to add his son, um, his let's see, he calls his church a different name. It's not the Nation of Islam, but it's another name. He also changed the name again, but it's not the Nation of Islam. Just to clarify. But so I'm wondering, how could you have, a son who's given the mantle, and then someone who's not a son, uh, like Louis Farrakhan, run the Nation of Islam? So it kind of reminded me of like with with like with regular Islam, like you have the Shiites and the Sunni, I think they're called, and what one group believes, it's a matter of who has the rightful, um, like the heir, so to speak, like Muhammad. Muhammad had um, he had children. There was a successor, and some believe that one of the relatives should have gotten it versus another person. And so it kind of reminded me of this, that so you have two organizations, and I was just concerned. But again, one is fundamental Islam and the other one isn't. So maybe it should be okay. And again, I'm just finding out about the seventh son. I had no idea that um, this was um, um, presented. Okay. Now, Louis Farrakhan, I don't see him making more new videos, and I think his health might be getting a little compromised. He is 81 years old, and I think they're grooming a, a new successor for the Nation of Islam. And he's at this other person, his name is Ishmael Muhammad. He's one of the, I guess, the younger children um, to Elijah Muhammad, one of the early founders. And I don't know, he's also a very light-skinned person. And so it's just making me feel like, you know, I would like to see a darker person representing a black organization. So that's why it makes me feel like almost that um, white supremacy, that if you have an organization, they get a lighter skinned person, even though I might be considered a lighter skinned black myself, but I I would I would feel, I don't know, if an organization is going to represent me. So it's more the symbol behind it, It shouldn't matter what our complexion is, but I guess because of white supremacy, even in black organizations, you have some that don't want to don't want to have a darker skinned person represent them, but the more Caucasian looking they are, it always seems like they're more approved. And I don't want that. Even if I would benefit off of, getting a position over a darker skinned person, I don't want to promote that. Quiet! Quiet! That's my son. Hey, hey, hey! Quiet! Every time when someone goes near my door, he starts to bark. I apologize for that. Lavin, cut it out. I have a little toy. Let me give it to him. Okay. I threw a little toy to distract him. Okay, okay, baby. It's okay. Come over here. So he's shaking himself. He's coming near me now. I'm sorry. So, I mean, it seems really petty what I'm saying, but it is a concern that I have. Okay. And if they're going to push this movement forward, especially for statehood, I want, if, if in the future I want to participate in this state thing, I want someone. you know, to be represented by, you know, a real black person, you know. Um, but either or, what's the other thing I wanted to talk about? Well, I know there's some other things. Trying to get my thoughts together now. If I'm sorry. Well, that's basically it. And oh, wow, I can't really think anymore. But I guess I just don't want to feel like um I don't know. It's just different. I just feel it's just different things that was concerning to me. Um, I guess I don't want to feel like that. To, because I watched many of the films on the Nation of Islam, a lot of his speeches, and I felt very motivated. Like, yeah, yeah, I'm for, statehood, and but at the same time, I'm just thinking, is are we being manipulated? You know, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, you know, that one argument is, like 95% of the stuff I'm all for, but it's just those 5%. You know, I'm really concerned about his origins. Well, Fuad Muhammad, and he was also in prison, and no one knows where he went. And it's like he was around, and then he just disappears. And I'm also questioning, why would this person be, why would he come to the U.S.? I mean, yeah, a lot of people came to the U.S. in the 1930s. My grandparents came in the 1920s. You know, many people are we're all immigrants. If you're not indigenous, you're an immigrant. But I I start to think, is their organization, is it tied to the Mason? Part of me feels like, I guess because maybe they're wearing suits, and just certain things about them seems to me reminiscent of, fraternities, and, organizations like that. And I want to stay clear of those type of organizations because I feel that they're all tied in. This was the other point, that if it has ties to a fraternity or Mason, that even though it's a black organization, that the Mason movements, they're all tied together. Even we have black Mason groups, whites, Jewish, Asian, but they're they'll all come together. A bird and a feather flock together, and there's a lot of, I forget the term, when you get two opposites and it make it look like they're against each other, but they're actually working for the same people. This was a concern that I have because I actually used to go to a church, and the church had, well, the minister did tell the congregation that he used to be in the Rosicrucian, um, and that's a Masonic organization. But how it was run, the church, all these weird handshakes that I saw, and just weird stuff, and just everything was so mechanical, and everything was about initiation. Passing one test, doing the other test, and so on and so on. Like you have to win their approval, and that it makes me, I don't know, it just reminds me of that, those elements. And whether you're a black mason or a white mason, that they're all the same. That I feel that they're all the same. The outcome will be the same, but on the surface they make it look different. And I know for me, I don't want to be involved in any, you know, Masonic organization. You know, um, get away. You know, so these are concerns that I have, and you know, I I because I really am for I really am for Black liberation and independence. That's my dream, that every Black person in America has their own home and garden, that we have fresh fruits and vegetables, everything organic, you know, that we run our own schools. Um, you know, that's what I call the American dream for me. So when I hear the Nation of Islam promoting even more so about starting this state, I'm all for it. But it's these elements in the organization, its origins, and um, if we if they get what they want, you know, most of the people in the organization, that they talk to, I should say, that many of these people are come from a Christian background, and these people will be funding it. They're asking for donations, and I would like to donate to them to promote this statehood. But if we do get it, the land and everything, how will they use the money um, towards the people? Will the people then be forced to wear certain outfits? Will the women have to, like that country that had the faces even covered? You know, I wouldn't want that. You know, so that's a hurdle that I have. Will it how will it pan out? You know, and will it be like a Jim Jones thing? If 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 here in the United States, if I know what else. Like it's the main headquarters is in Chicago, and that's also where Obama, sprung out from, politically. And the condition of Chicago is not better off with Obama in office. Um, so here you have the President of the United States, President Obama, who worked in Chicago, and then you have the Nation of Islam main headquarters in Chicago, and it's it's in a mess. The condition of blacks is in a mess. So if you can't handle that now, how would you be able to handle your own nation? Whether it be in the continental U.S. or abroad. You know, so these are questions that I have for the Nation of Islam, and I think that they're fair questions, and I guess I don't want to be caught up in the emotionalism and put money in an organization without really having these other questions answered. So these are my feelings, and you know, um, these are concerns that I have, and I just wanted to put it out there. And again, the main point is um, who, not to get into emotionalism and to investigate investigate what the inconsistencies or what one may perceive as inconsistencies in an organization, and how you're going to resolve these questions, you know. So that's all I have to say, and I like to know what what your thoughts and concerns regarding this video. And again, anyone who's in the organization, the Nation of Islam, please feel free to write your comments and even answer some of my concerns. Again, it's my place in this video is not to put down Louis Farrakhan or any members of the organization or Muslims in general. There are questions about um, Black people who also share a vision of independence and how we're going to do this in a safe manner and to have um, the right information to make a good judgment in what you're going to support or not support. Okay, so let me know what your concern, what your thoughts are, and have a good day. See you guys. Bye bye.